Now let's add our second clip and let's do a transition here. We'll trim this clip and make a pre-composition as well. Even if we make this a pre-composition, we might not actually do anything inside the pre-comp. What we are going to do is stabilize. Let's go back to our main comp. I want this clip to end at this keyframe, so I'm going to trim it there. For this transition, I think I want this part of the car to come in on this clip. So to do that, we're going to duplicate this clip, Control C, Control V. We're going to right click, go to time, and let's freeze frame. Freeze frame will freeze your footage exactly at that frame that you set it at. So if I wanted to freeze at the first frame, I would freeze it there. Now that we have our footage freeze framed, let's go back 5 frames. To do that, we're going to use the page up button. Clicking it 5 times will bring it 5 frames, and you can snap it there. We're going to shorten this, holding shift. And now we're going to mask our clip. Since this footage is only 1 frame, we don't need to use our roto brush. To mask it, you just click up here on the pen tool. Remember, you can press H to drag around. When you're working with the pen tool, instead of clicking and having a straight line, if you click and hold, you can drag it around. If you're familiar with Photoshop, you already know this. To end your mask, you just got to click on your first mask point. Don't worry if your mask isn't perfect, because we're going to feather it. To open up your masks, you can either click the arrow down here, or click M. Under mask, you have 4 options. Mask path is where you can keyframe your mask points. Mask feather is where you can feather it. We're actually going to set this to 5. Mask opacity is just showing your opacity for that mask. And expansion is how you'll open that mask up. Since we want this mask to come in from the left side, we're going to keyframe anchor point. We're going to set this keyframe to the end. And we're going to drag this to the left. Make sure it's fully out of frame. One thing we need to add is press U. We're going to select all our keyframes. And we're going to go right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease out. Easy ease out will make it go faster towards the end. Our transition looks pretty good, but it doesn't look natural coming in like that. We're going to go to our effects and presets in the top right, and we're going to look up directional blur. We're going to drag this onto our transition layer. We're going to set this value to 90. And the blur length, let's set it at around 45. This will blur your footage so it looks like it's moving. Some people like to call this motion blur. When you play it through, it flows a lot better. Now that we have our transition done, let's slow this clip down. It looks good, but I do want to do some zoom in. So let's keyframe scale, bring this to the end, zoom it in. Let's mute these layers as well. I am going to add some slight rotation as well. Since we ended our first clip in a positive rotation value, I'm going to end this clip in a negative value. Everything looks good so far, so let's move on to our third clip. We're going to pre-compose this, trim it in the pre-composition, shorten that composition, go back to the main comp, drag the clip back out, snap it to the end of the second clip, and let's slow this down by 2. Right here is where I drop, so we want this to be pretty dramatic. Make sure we stabilize. And I'm going to frame this footage just a little bit, but I'm going to frame it in the pre-composition. For this frame, I won't be keyframing since I only want it to stay in one spot. Once our clip is stabilized and set up, let's do the same transition that we did over here. Let's duplicate this layer. Let's freeze it. Drag it out 5 frames. Trim it right here. And let's mask it now. Once the mask is done, a quicker way to feather is by clicking on your layer and pressing F. That'll open the feather if your mask is applied. Let's set this to 5. I want this to start at the top and come to the bottom. So we're going to keyframe anchor point, drag that keyframe to the end, and let's drag this up. Let's right click, easy ease out. We're also going to add directional blur. We're going to leave this value at 0, and we're going to set this to 35. Looks good. Now let's do some zoom in. Add some slight rotation as well. We're going to go back to the positive values. It don't matter why I started it. It don't matter why I started it. Looks great. I think for this clip, I want a full frame of the car. Trim this clip up. Let's pre-comp this as well. Let's stabilize it. Once this is stabilized, let's keyframe scale and rotation again. For this one, I'm going to have it zoom in a lot more and rotate a lot more.
No matter why I started, it just matter why I started, it don't matter why I started, it just matter.